About this thing. I'm gonna try again. I believe I just overlooked this one thing right here. Alright, now I'm going to try this. No.
It is done. The Defiler is defeated. Take Dawnbreaker from its pedestal.
That scroll I used, the Guardian Circle. Undead up to level 35 entering the circle will flee. Caster heals 20 health per second inside it. This is Guardian Circle. This guy looked dead. I thought he might flee, but I don't know if he actually did.
Larkin is vanquished. Skyrim's dead shall remain at rest. This is as it should be. This is because of you. A new day is dawning, and you shall be its herald. Take the mighty Dawnbreaker, and with it purge corruption from the dark corners of the world. Wield it in my name, that my influence may grow.
I wield this mighty blade in your name.
May the light of certitude guide your efforts.
This item I got, Dawnbreaker. Not too bad. Burns for 10 points, and when killing undead, a chance to cause a fire explosion that turns and destroys nearby undead. Those are only worth 50 each. You seem to solve this one. I'm gonna go east of Solitude and try to drop some of my stuff off. Try to sell some stuff. And then we'll need an opportunity to rest. Let's only visit the inn and the shops. And there's a quest here I can wrap up also.
They can't hurt Uncle Rogvir. Tell them he didn't do it.
Positions.
Svar, you need to go home. Go home and stay there until your mother comes.
Get on with it!
You betrayed her! Traitor! You should tell her that her uncle is a scum that betrayed his high king. Best she know now, Advar.
We're all hard.
Rogvir, you helped Ulfric Stormcloak escape the city after he murdered High King Torrig. By opening that gate for Ulfric, you betrayed the people of Solitude.
He doesn't deserve to speak!
There was no murder. Ulfric
Liar.
challenged Torrig. He beat the High King in fair combat. Such is our way. Such is the ancient custom of Skyrim and all Nords.
Boo!
On this day, I go to Sonnengard.
Some gate guard you were! I'm right behind you. I am at your command.
She might like this new one, Dawnbreaker. Guess she prefers Dawnfang.
Let's get going then.
Feel free to make requests.
He died well.
There's nothing.
Welcome to the Winking Skeever, friend.
Why is this place called the Winking Skeever?
Well, as it turns out, I had a pet skeever when I was a boy, and he used to wink.
You kept a skeever as a pet.
They were smaller back then.
Heard any rumors lately?
I think the Bard's College might be looking for recruits. You should speak to the head of the college, Ephraim, if you're interested.
What have you got for sale?
Let's sate that appetite, hmm?
I'd like to rent a room.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room. Right this way. Know if there's anything else you need.
What delight. Another charming customer.
Bad day.
It is when my customers waste time chatting and not buying.
You get a lot of business like that?
Radiant Raiment has the finest attire in all of Skyrim. That is how we get business.
What do we got for sale?
Breeches, gowns, clothes for any occasion, really. Finally. Why, hello. Here to buy? If you have to ask the price, you might be in the wrong store.
You always insult people when you meet them.
It's not an insult, just an observation. If I were walking around with a wound, I would want you to tell me to see a doctor. Your outfit is something of an open wound, where attire is concerned.
What's wrong with my outfit?
Nothing at all. It's very nice. If you want something with a little more style, however, you should see what we have available.
So what should I wear to the Blue Palace?
You're really going to the Blue Palace? That presents an opportunity. If you are willing to wear one of Radiant Raymond's outfits and speak to the Jarl, I would not only pay you, but let you keep the outfit.
Sounds easy enough. I'll do it.
Good. Here's the outfit. Try to get Elisif's opinion on it, and if she likes it, mention it's from Radiant Raymond.
What have you got for sale?
Clothes and raiment for the discerning customer.
She seems to have the same inventory which the other shopkeeper had, so I'm just going to move on.
Thank you for your patronage.
I'm not interested, Jari. It doesn't matter how many times you ask.
Biren said you got here just before the execution. Must have been a lovely first sight.
Were you at Rogvir's execution?
No, that was an ugly affair. High King Torig's death has turned the whole town on its head. Between you and me, he wasn't even that good a king. All of those rambling speeches about the Empire this and the Empire that.
Who is Beerend? Who is Beerend?
Baron's my husband. He works the forge up at Castle Dower. I barely see him nowadays, what with him filling orders for the army.
What do you got for sale?
Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that. Come back to bits and pieces anytime.
You're a traveler, correct? Have you been to Whiterun?
Actually, yes.
Wonderful. I hadn't really hoped to run into someone who'd been there. My daughter Fura was assigned to Whiterun after she joined the Imperial Army. I was hoping you might have met her. I haven't heard from her lately. I've tried talking to Captain Aldous, but he hasn't been any help.
I haven't met her, but I could try to get more information.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. Anything you can find out from Captain Aldous would be welcome news.
Aromatic, so you sell perfume.
We mostly carry herbs and alchemical ingredients, that sort of thing. Before the war, our stock was mostly used for aromatic use in homes. Yes. These days, we have more people like you coming in, looking for healing and the like.
What have you got for sale?
So you're interested in my potions and ingredients? Don't forget me next time you need herbs and potions.
As High Priest of the Eight Divines, I bid you welcome.
Yes?
Hey, wanna play tag?
Hello and welcome, my friend. How may I help you on this fine day?
I need some arrows that can take down a dragon.
Why, of course. And will you also be needing the bow that shoots rainbows? Or perhaps a quiver that dispenses beer? Look, if you want arrows, we have them. But don't insult my intelligence.
What have you got for sale?
An archer, eh? I've got just what you need.
The crossbows are kind of strong, but I think they fire slowly.
Perhaps I'll be seeing more of you.
I've got your back.
I need to trade some things with you.
How can I serve you, my Thane?
True, I may bows and arrows for the mighty huntsman. Please come back if you're ever in need of fletching supplies.
Still here. I am sworn to carry your burdens. Let's get going then.
Seems there's no end to the needs of the Imperials. But what can I help you with?
Yeah, have you considered getting out there and fighting?
I think I would, if it weren't for my son and my wife. Oh, Seema would have my hide if I even suggested I might step foot on a battlefield. You think Stormcloaks and Legionnaires are dangerous? Ha!
You make armor for the Imperials?
It's almost all I have time for these days. The men training here in Solitude, and the troops out in the field, they all need weapons and armor. You should look into joining. They could use every hand they can get.
You're pretty dedicated to the Empire, then.
To be honest, no. But High King Torrig supported them. And now, her Lady Elisif has thrown in with them. You could say I'm a king's man at heart. I guess that's Yarrow's man now. My loyalty lies with Solitude. So, where Jarl Elisif leads, I follow.
What do we got for sale?
Take a look. Return anytime you need arms or armor. My forge never rests.
I've got your back. How can I serve you, my Thane? You lead, I'll follow.
Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage? Keep safe and always wear
Still
your
here. How can I serve you, my Thane? Lead on.
What? Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage? Aye. Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage? Until next time.
It looks like this is an opportunity to join the Legion up here, which we're going to take.
Come on now. Want those arrows dead set? The lives of your fellow soldiers is counting on you.
Are my men now giving free rein to anyone who wanders into the castle? Do you have some reason to be here, citizen?
Oh, that Helgen.
Right, Helgen. one of the prisoners, if I recall correctly.
I was set free. I could have gone anywhere. I came here to fight for the Empire.
I suppose that's true. Fine. Why don't you have a chat with Legate Ricca? I suspect we might have use for someone resourceful like you. Not many survived Helgen. Besides, I'm sure your being imprisoned was all a terrible misunderstanding.
I'm telling you, Ulfric's planning an attack on Whiterun.
He'd be insane to try. He doesn't have the men.
That's not what my scouts report, sir. Every day more join his cause. Riften, Dawnstar, and Winterhold support him.
It's not a cause. It's a rebellion.
Call it whatever you like, General. The man's going to try to take Whiterun.
Jarl Balgruuf.
Balgruuf refuses the Legion's right to garrison troops in his city. On the other hand, he also refuses to acknowledge Ulfric's claim.
Well, if he wants to stand outside the protection of the Empire, fine. Let Ulfric pillage his city.
General.
You people and your damn Jarls.
Sir, you can't force a Nord to accept help he hasn't asked for.
If Ulfric's making a move for Whiterun, then we need to be there to stop him. Draft another letter with the usual platitudes, but this time share some of your intelligence regarding Ulfric's plans. Embellish if you have to. We'll let it seem like it's his idea.
Yes, sir.
You Nords and your bloody sense of honor.
Sir.
From what I hear, you're the one gave the Thalmor a black eye. Sure know how to pick your enemies, don't you?
Make it quick. I get enough delays.
Keep your guard up.
How did one join the Imperial Legion?
Think you've got the medal, huh? Honestly, the Legion can use all the able bodies it can muster. We have our hands full. A dead king, a rebellion, now dragons. Skyrim's a mess. If you're serious, you're in the right place. Our headquarters is in Castle Dower. Here you'll find General Tullius, commanding our forces in Skyrim. But talk to Legate Ricca. She handles the local recruiting. All right then. Can't wait to kill another of Ulfric's boys.
So, you survived Helgen? General Tullius told me what happened. Not many made it out alive. I've got a good feeling about you, and I don't often get good feelings about anything. A warrior knows to trust her gut. I'm not going to go through the normal process with you. I've got a little test lined up. Pass that, and we'll talk about you joining the Legion.
I can handle anything thrown at me.
Is that confidence or bravado? Confidence I can use. Bravado gets soldiers killed. We'll soon find out. I'm sending you to clear out Fort Hrogstad. If you survive, you'll pass. If you die, then I'll have no further use for your corpse.
Was it Fort Hrogstad?
The ancients built many of the fortresses that dot the landscape of Skyrim. Sadly, most have fallen into disrepair, and nearly all have been overrun with bandits or other vagabonds. Fort Hrogstad is one of the few that remains mostly intact. We're going to install a garrison there, but first, you're going to clean out the bandits that have moved in.
I'm going alone.
Oh, not so confident now, are we? Yes, this is a test. I don't think you're regular militia material. I want to see what you're capable of.
Consider that fort already yours.
Good, that's what I want to hear. Now go make it happen, soldier.
The fort is up here. I guess we're ready to leave.
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet.
The copy of Glories and Laments here. I'm not sure where that is. Look, I should say at the end again.
Why don't you take a walk?
Those tendrils bind our reality together.
I think this is actually a quest Erica's house. Optional, investigate Erica's house. I'll try that one. Something here. Construction of the port east of Jahada has been approved and will begin once the transfer of land is official. The boy's consent should suffice as the head of the Iceblade clan has long been absent, and the mother taken ill, per your brother's instruction. The deed is enclosed with this letter. Sending the boy to Riften before he's old enough to grasp what happened is a good idea, not the orphanage, though. It's best to live in comfort, lest he suspect our motives. Still, it's a dangerous gambit, made more complicated should the rightful heir return. Your brother would kill me for saying this, but if you have the chance, it would be worth selling the venture for the right price. This has been more trouble than it's been worth. Guess we're done with that. There's stuff in the city I need to do, but it's a little hard to figure out where it is. And I need to wrap this up. I'm just about out of time. I think this is actually the Viking Skeever. That's the inn.
The winking skeever's got warm beds and cold mead. You look like you could use both.
So spend the night here.
Welcome to the winking skeever, friend.
Like to rent a room.
Are you joking? You just rented a room for me. Remember the winking skeever next time you're footsore.
I can try to wrap up the quest here.
Fletching suits me.
Hello, I'm Gisley, but you can just call me Erica's sister. Everyone does.
I know your people did in Jahada.
It would seem so.
The deed's not worth the trouble. I'll dispose of it for you.
Nah, I don't think so. Welcome to the center of the world. Or at least my brother Erica's world.
The Echo is your brother.
Yes, my older brother. And
and the person you probably want to be speaking to right now. But really, since Torig's death, Falk Firebeard wields the true power of the Jarl's Court. My brother is nothing more than a pompous little fop.
That doesn't seem like a good attitude.
Oh, if you're looking for a good attitude, go see the bards. They'll fake it for you if nothing else. If you're looking for truth instead, see Noster. He's a good example of what life has to offer. And if you're just looking to feel good, go get some spiced wine from Yvette. But whatever you do, just leave me alone.
I still know your people did in Johanna.
It would seem so.
The deed's not worth the trouble. I'll dispose of it for you.
Nah, I don't think so. Have you met my dear brother Eriker? The man's as trustworthy as a Khajiit Gulf monger. We'll speak again later, if we might.
Go cast your fancy magic someplace else.
Let me know if you see anything you like.
If you're looking for potions, you should talk to my aunt, Angeline Morard.
You're doing?
We need all the help. I need all the help I can get pickpocketing. So I'm going to wear this and take a potion. Guess I don't have a potion, so it'll just be that thing. Now I place the forged deed on the dresser. Yes, I'll be here. So I'll do this and wrap it up.
Fresh fish, straight from the fjords.
If you're heading to the Blue Palace, you might want to...
A method to your madness, and your madness is the method.
Wonder what it's like for those Thalmor now that they've been taken down a notch.
I check the barrel for further instruction. I believe this quest gets me in the Thieves Guild. That'll be here.
Proudspire Manor. Now there's a fine home. Up for sale, too. If you're interested, talk to the steward in the keep.
You're good. You picked your pocket clean and made the switch. Now you put those skills to test, and more. In Silverdrift Lair, the tomb that houses an ancient Nord clan. Near a large chest of corpse with a lantern, a candle still burning. It holds the key. When you have the key, open the chest, and you'll find a sword that can raise the dead. When you find it, bring it to the grave of the Grey Fox in Riften. Use a small unmarked headstone on the east side of the cemetery. Complete the task. Maybe you would get to meet him. A stranger. I have to quit now. That sounds very interesting. We'll conclude with a bit of reading. I guess I only have time for one book, but who knows. Herbane's Bestiae, the Ice Wraith. 17. Last scene. When winter chill descended upon me as I traveled further north through the frozen plains and mountains, I settled in at the inn at Dawnstar for a moment of respite and a warm meal. Another traveler there told me to be cautious, as there are creatures who settle into the powder white of the snow with their clue to the careless, until it was too late. He went on and on with wild gestures and fantastic tales of entire merchant expeditions being killed by the beast. His stories frightened the other inn patron, but I will not be turned by a coward's tale. I'll see these from my own eyes, for those icy caves and snow-capped peaks of the north are exactly the type of place they call to an adventurer like me. It did not take me long to find what I sought. These ice wraiths are lucid, serpentine creatures of magic, as if conjured from the frozen tundra and glaciers of Skyrim itself. It's one with an environment that makes them nearly invisible. These ethereal apparitions are the death of many Nords, if not by the sudden unholy strike that casts their entire body through their target. Then by the malady of witbane, a curse of infection that dulls the intellect and makes the target even more the victim. As deadly as they are, ice wraiths are simple-minded in their determination, and combat is a straightforward affair. And brute force and a sharp blade are enough to fell these savage creatures. Only the hardiest of men would hope to survive just one of these beasts, by slaying two, which generally is. It's good that I found I could make a decent coin selling ice wraith's teeth, as they are a prized ingredient in alchemical potions. They'll continue to afford me the opportunity to search these lands for a challenge worthy of story. For I've yet to see would make me tremble. Pala, Book 1, by Vaj Miersted. Pala. I remember when I first heard that name, not long ago at all. It was at a Tales and Towers ball at a very fine estate west of Mirkura, to which I and my fellow Mages Guild initiates had found ourselves unexpectedly invited. Truth be told, we didn't have been too surprised. There were very few other noble families in Mirkura. The region had its halcyon days as a resort for the wealthy far back in the second town. And on reflection, it was only appropriate to have sorcerers and wizards present at a supernatural holiday. Not that we were anything more exotic than students at a small, non-inclusive charter house of the guild, but like I said, there were the paucity of other choices available. For close to a year, the only home I had known was the rather ramshackle and sprawling grounds of the Mirkura Mages Guild. My only companions were my fellow initiates, most of which only tolerated me, and the master, whose bitterness of being at a backwater guild prompted never-ending abuse. Immediately, the School of Illusion had attracted me. The Magister taught us recognized me as not a pupil, who loved not only the spells of the science, but their philosophical underpinning. There was something about the idea of warping the imperceptible energies of light, sound, and mind that appealed to my nature. Not for me the flashy school of destruction and alteration, the holy school of restoration and conjuration, the practical schools of alchemy and enchantment, or the chaotic school of mysticism. No, I was never so pleased to take an ordinary object and by a little magic make it seem something other than what it was. It would have taken more imagination than I had to apply that philosophy to my monotonous life. After the morning's lesson, we were assigned tasks before our evening classes. Mine had been to clean out the study of a recently deceased resident of the guild and to categorize the clutter of spellbooks, charm, and incunabula. It was a lonely and tedious appointment. Magister Tendixus was an inveterate collector of worthless junk, but I was reprimanded any time I threw something away with the least possible value. Gradually I learned enough to deliver each of his belongings to the appropriate department: potions of healing to the Magisters of Restoration, books on physical phenomena to the Magisters of Alteration, herbs and minerals to the alchemist, and soul gems and bad items to the enchanter. After one delivery to the enchanters, I'd leave with my customary lack of appreciation when the Master Ilder called me back. "Boy," said the portly old man, handing me back one item, "destroy this." It was a small black disc covered with runes with a ring of red-orange gems that looked like bones circling its periphery. "I'm sorry, Magister," I stammered. "I thought it was something you'd be interested in." "Take it to the Great Flame and destroy it," he barked, turning his back at me. "You never brought it here." My interest was piqued because I knew the only thing that would make him react. Because I knew the only thing that would make him react such a way. Necromancy. Went back to Magistrate Nix's chamber and poured through his note, looking for any reference to the dead. Unfortunately, most of those have been written in strange code that is powerless to decipher. I was so fascinated by the mystery that I nearly arrived late for my evening class in enchantment. Told my master, Elder himself. For the next several weeks, I divided my time, categorizing general debris, making my deliveries, and researching the dead. I came to understand that my instinct was correct. The disc was a genuine necromantic artifact. I couldn't understand most of the magistrate's notes. I determined that he thought it to be a means of resurrecting a loved one from the grave. Sadly, the time came when the chamber had been categorized. And cleared. I was given another assignment, assisting the stable of the guild's menagerie. At least finally I was working with some of my fellow initiates, and had the opportunity of meeting the common folk and nobles that came to the guild in various errands. Thus was I employed when we were all invited to the Tales and Tallows ball. If the expensive glamour of the evening were not enough, our hostess was reputed to be young, rich, unmarried orphan from Hammerfell. Only a month or two before had she moved. Only a month or two before had she moved to a desolate wooded corner of the imperial province to claim an old family and manor house and grounds. The initiates at the guild gossiped like old women about the mysterious young lady's past. What had happened to her parent, why she had left or been driven from her homeland. Her name was Botaniki, and that was all we knew. We wore robes of initiation with pride as we arrived for the ball. At the enormous marble foyer, a servant announced each of our names as if we were royalty, and we stood into the midst of revelers with great puffery. Of course, we were then probably ignored by one and all. In essence, we were unimportant figures to lend some thickness to the ball, background character. The important people pushed through us with perfect politeness. This old lady shout here, discussing diplomatic appointments of Balmoral with the Duke of Rimfallen, an orc warlord, entertained the giggling princess with tales of rape and pillage. She was the guild magistrate, worried with three painfully thin noble spinsters about the haunting of Daggerfall. Intrigued that the imperial and various royal courts were analyzed, gently mocked, fretted over, toasted, dismissed, evaluated, mitigated, admonished, subverted. None looked our way even when we were right next to them. It was my skilled illusion somehow rendered us all invisible. I took my flagon out to the terrace. The moons were doubled, equally luminous in the sky, and an enormous, reflecting pool that stretched out into the garden. The white marble statuary lying the sides of the pool caught the fire and glow and seemed to burn like torches in the night. The sight of so the world I was mesmerized by, and the strange red-guard figures immortalized in stone. Earth had made her home there so recently, some of the sculptures were still wrapped in sheets that billowed and swayed in the gentle breeze. I don't know how long I stared before I realized I wasn't alone. She was so small and so dark, not only in her skin, but in her clothing, and I took her for a shadow. When she turned to me, I thought she was very beautiful and young. Not more than 17. Are you our hostess? I finally asked. Yes, she smiled, but when I changed to admit that I'm very bad at it, I should be inside of any neighborhood, but I think we have very little in common. If it made abundantly clear, they hope I have nothing in common with them either. I laughed. When I'm a little higher than an initiate in the Mages Guild, they might see me as more of an equal. I don't understand the concept of equality and cyrano yet, she frowned. In my culture, you prove your worth, not just expected it. My parents both were great warriors, as I hope to be. I went out to the long statue. The sculptures represent your parents? That's my father, Parium, there, I said, gesturing to a life-size representation of a massively built man. Unashamedly naked, gripping another warrior by the throat and preparing to decapitate him with an outstretched blade. In a clearly realistic depiction, Parium's face was plain, even slightly ugly, with a low forehead, a mass of tangled hair, double on his cheek, and a slight gap in his teeth, which no sculptor would surely have invented if it adjusted his model's true idiosyncrasies. And your mother, I asked, pointing to a nearby statue of a proud, rather squat warrior woman in a mantilla and a scarf holding a charm. Oh no, she laughed. That was my uncle's old nurse. Mother's statue still had a sheet over it. I don't know what prompted me to insist that we unveil the statue that she pointed to. In all likelihood, it was nothing but a fate and a selfish desire to continue the conversation. I was afraid that if I did not give her a project, she'd feel the need to return to the party, and I would be alone again. At first she was reluctant. She had not yet made up her mind whether the statue would suffer in the wet, sometimes cold, idyllic climate. Perhaps all should be covered, she reasoned. Maybe she was merely making conversation, reluctant, and was as reluctant as I was to understand off me that much closer to having to return to the party. In a few minutes' time, we toward the top from the statue of Botaniki's mother. That is when my life changed forevermore. She was an untamed spirit of nature, screaming and struggling with a misshapen, monstrous figure in black marble. Her gorgeous long fingers were raking across the creature's face. The monster tall gripped her right breast and sort of caress that prefaced his mortal wound. His legs and hers wound around each other in a battle that was intense. I felt annihilated. This lithe, formidable woman was beautiful beyond all superficial standard. Her was sculpted that somehow captured not only a face and figure of a goddess, but her power and will. He was tragic and triumphant, and I felt instantly fatally in love with him. I had not even noticed when Jellin, one of my fellow initiates, was leaving the party, came up behind us. Apparently I had whispered the word magnificent, because I heard Botanica reply to a mile away, yes, it is magnificent. That's why I was afraid of exposing it to the elements. And then I heard clearly, like a stone breaking water, Jellin, Ma preserve me, that must be Paula. Then you've heard of my mother, asked Botanica, turning away. I often wave at us, practically on the border to Hammerfell. I don't think there's anyone who hasn't heard of your mother and her great heroism, ridding the land of that abominable beast. She died in that struggle, didn't she? Yes, said the ghost sadly, but so too did the creature. For a moment we were all silent. I don't remember anything more of that night. Somehow I knew I was invited to die the next evening, but my mind and heart had been entirely and forevermore arrested by the statue. I turned back to the guild. My dreams were fevered and robbed me no rest. Everything seemed diffused by white light, except for one beautiful, fearsome woman, Paula. Alright, that's it for today. I'm Dave D. from Larkin. I'll continue tomorrow, July 4th. That's Saturday at 9 p.m. and I'll continue, 9 a.m. and I'll continue to 9 p.m. That's all for now. Goodbye.